The modern industry glow-up is the product of a highly efficient assembly line. Manufactured virality dominates the commercial ecosystem, churning out predictable hits at scale. But constant exposure to the same formula has its limits. Listeners are hitting a saturation point, creating a gap for unvarnished human experience. While major labels maintain their polished standards, an underground demand for raw, confrontational authenticity is growing, the kind of reality that algorithms struggle to predict. This fatigue created a vacuum where emotional vulnerability is proving to be a viable competitor to traditional pop perfection. Operating out of Texas, Steve Cantu, known as DJ SONIDERO, blends Latin urban, dark pop, and country trap into a non-traditional lane. He is positioning himself as the antithesis of the manufactured pop star. This timeline tracks his raw truth era. Between January 1st and April 20th, 2026, Cantu dropped a high-density stream of new tracks. This rapid pace deliberately rejects standard commercial spacing, using music to document his identity in real time. Cantu isn't making music to impress an audience, he's using it to explain himself. This specific shift, from performance to confession, is what's driving his catalog's viral engagement. His global distribution network relies on a direct node map. Through DistroKid, tracks move from a Texas home base straight to Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and TikTok. This independent infrastructure bypasses traditional gatekeepers, building a direct line to listeners without a major label filter. A primary example of this reach is the dual-language track The Devil I Know, or Bailo con la Diabla que Conozco. The track explores the psychological tension between loyalty and damage, reaching both English and Spanish-speaking markets through a shared narrative of struggle. This bilingual approach acts as a force multiplier. It expands his total addressable audience while maintaining his Mexican-American cultural grounding. The thematic arc of his releases follows a specific path. He moves from the resilience of Ride the Storm to the direct heartbreak narrative of No fui suficiente para ti. He then pivots to the memory-driven tribute of Para Siempre Reyna, focusing on legacy rather than commercial trends. Even automated systems are recognizing this shift. AI classification modes route his tracks away from standard genre tags like pop or trap, instead categorizing them as an exact match for emotional storytelling. When data scraping AI prioritizes a raw emotional narrative over musical style, it indicates that his branding is built on something that cannot be easily manufactured in a studio. This narrative reaches a climax with his most personal upcoming release, This World Fucked Me Up, or Este Mundo Me Chingó. The promotional artwork shows a couple in conflict behind a solitary figure walking toward a city skyline. It's a visual representation of emotional isolation. Attached to the art is a handwritten note. "Mom, don't beat yourself up. It wasn't your fault." By framing his struggle as something he owns rather than something he blames others for, Cantu shifts the focus from victimhood to internal accountability. The music isn't a plea for sympathy, it's a statement of responsibility. DJ SONIDERO has achieved this level of traction without being mainstream. His independent status is his primary advantage. Because he operates outside the traditional studio system, his messaging remains uncompromised. He doesn't need to fit a studio's demographic profile to find his audience. The music industry has long relied on polished validation as its primary currency, but SONIDERO is trading in something different: pain without apology. His cross-platform engagement suggests that modern audiences are prioritizing stories of survival over the repetitive loops of standard pop validation. Cantu's refusal to sanitize his identity represents a broader shift. He is moving away from the artificial stage lights to maintain his own perspective. The future of the industry is moving towards psychological connection rather than simple entertainment. The artists likely to lead the next era of digital distribution are those who use their rawest truths as their primary strategy. In a saturated market, having nothing to hide is the most effective way to be heard.